he feels isolated, right? He's like going to his job, he's buying these things in order to fill this void in his soul or whatever. And then he goes to these support groups and he's getting the support, quote unquote, he needs, in the sense that he is in an environment that allows him to cry, even though he doesn't feel like it shows that he's friends with Bob.
Yeah.
So maybe he has some other friends, but it seems like on the whole, he doesn't know these people and he doesn't like connect with them on a personal level.
He has no community.
Right. But he goes there and he kind of like is using the trappings of community. He's taking the benefits of these support groups while not actually contributing anything and not participating directly in it.
Well, he is participating because he's crying back and stuff like that.
He's participating, but you can like...
He's not sharing their pain.
Yeah, and the idea of these support groups is that you go and now you're part of this community. And he's not really engaging in the community. He's just extracting the value and then getting out of there, right?
True, but he's also trying to find some meaning or find some community where there is none in a society where like you have to have testicular cancer in order to meet up with a group once a week and be vulnerable to each other and stuff like that.
Well, but that's the funny thing. You mentioned church. I'm like, that's kind of funny because like people just go to support groups all the time for no real reason, just to hang out.
Yeah, but outside of church though, it's not a super common thing to have men
gather. For sure.
And like they exist. There's like a lot of like men help group, and I think just like in this movie, like it can be really helpful and to find community and find belonging. It's really important. That's not just a masculine thing, but so many of them go too far. It's like it'll become a financial thing. It'll become like you have to participate. You have to keep paying money. You have to do this, commit this time.
You're talking about support group or church groups,
or just support groups in general.
Yeah.
Like I know someone that runs a group, and I'm like, oh, okay, good.
I'm not going anymore. I kind of wish there was secular church because we were like, I am an atheist and I like atheism and I think lots of people should do it. But I do recognize that as a culture, we're throwing the baby out with the bathwater, and there are benefits to religion that I wish we had more of, like going to church and meeting. I think we should have secular church. I think every Sunday it'd be great if the people who lived in my part of town went to a place, watched a lecture that was about introspection, and then had lunch after.
Absolutely,
that would be awesome.
What is the line between a help group and like a cult? Like what point does like a men's help group become like red pill?
Monetization.
Monetization?
A lot of the time.
Oh, really?
A lot of the time. Yeah, I said there's what is the new thing? It's like based from QAnon, but it has to do with like there's going to be these disclosures, and then there's going to be a new order, and we're all going to be...
Oh, the Great Reset?
Maybe. I had a friend who's a friend of a friend who's unfortunately just like, we found out she's just like mentally ill, but she was like making all these Instagram videos and stuff, like telling, just talking about all this, and then it goes on for like 2 months, and then in the end it culminates in her being like, and here's my GoFundMe page. Like, there it is. Finally.
Well, I think that there is like, I don't know if you would call like the Rajneeshis thing a cult. I guess they were for profit at the end. They were like trying to get money.
I think they had to give up their possessions and goods.
Right.
I think they maybe donated it to the cause, but they definitely committed their labor to it.
Yeah.
And did a lot of building of their community and stuff like that.
I think that monetization is probably a good benchmark to use for like cult. I think that maybe losing personal autonomy probably is also something where people like are, punished in group for thinking or doing or saying certain things.
Isolation's a big part of it. Like in Scientology, you have those people, suppressive person. Like Nicole Kidman was labeled a suppressive person to... Okay, so when they were filming... this is not the episode for Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut, but when they were shooting that movie, it was in like Sweden or something. And so he was like at the height of his Scientology at that point, but then they went off for this shoot for like a year, and he was away from that community, and he was with her, and she was labeled a suppressive person. So you're supposed to cut ties with those people who were going to pull you out of the cult.
Right, for sure. Huh. Do you guys heard of NXIVM?
Nope. Sounds like a...
Oh, is that like the local modern one?
Well, there was a chapter in Vancouver or whatever, but I think the main headquarters was in New York. But it was, do you know Allison Mack? Is that you guys?
Is that a rapper?
No, she was like she was a Canadian personality.
She was like Popular Mechanics for Kids or something. Is that her?
Maybe she was on. I think she was on YTV on something. Oh, she was on Smallville. She's Chloe from Smallville.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that sex cult.
Right. Yeah, the sex cult. Yeah, and so Lauren and I watched It's called The Vow, and it's like it's delving into it. It's really good.
Oh,
I
heard
it's on HBO.
I was recommended that. I want to check it out.
Yeah, it's really good. But yeah, one of the things in that cult is, you have to cut people out who have left the cult. You can't talk to them. And if you're saying anything that's like criticizing the cult, then you are deemed a troublemaker and you're like slowly expelled.
Yeah.
There are financial incentives for people to stay. Like they're like, give me collateral. So people are like, I can't leave, or they have this information on me.
Yeah.
People, they made them like give them nudes and stuff.
Yeah, that's the same with the Hutterites. So everyone knows what like Amish people are.
Yeah.
But in Alberta and other parts of Canada, there's these Hutterites. They live in colonies. They're religious. They're not allowed modern technology unless it helps them work. So they're allowed like a new truck, but they have to take the radio out. They're allowed a new tractor and stuff. And if they leave, they can willingly leave the colony at any time, but they're not allowed to come back.
Yeah.
They all have glasses because they're so inbred.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. My auntie was a teacher at a colony. I got to visit a couple of times. It's very interesting.
I'm a tourist.
Yeah, I literally was given a tour.
Oh, that's
and
interesting.
then the girl who gave me the tour, she was 16 and she had contraband. She gave me and my sister a tour. She showed us her room and she had like the secret spot in her room where she had her contraband. She had a flip phone and she was like, "What are your phone numbers?" Because she obviously didn't have that many numbers.
my
So she
gosh.
wanted people to text.
That's
Man,
awesome.
that's cool. Yeah.